WWE Royal Rumble 2017 is this Sunday night from the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas. But before that, we got NXT Takeover to discuss.
So,
Luke, I know you have the card with you. I don't have the card right now.
Yeah.
I actually totally forgot about Takeover until last night when I was watching SmackDown and saw previews for it. So I totally forgot about Takeover, actually.
All right, that's all right. Yeah, I got the card here. First match, Roderick Strong versus Almas, Andre Cien and Almas, and a regular singles match. Strong just came in from the independent circuit a little bit ago. I think Strong's going to win. I mean, I think if they have Almas win, it's going to very Strong. He did lose in a fatal four-way match for the number one contendership to Bobby Roode back in December. And now Bobby Roode's going to face Nakamura for the NXT title here a little bit later on that night. But Strong wins over Almas because I think if they have him lose, it's just going to bury him and it's not going to help him any.
Well, obviously, Strong's going to win. He's the new talent in the WWE right now, developmental NXT. And Almas is basically the jobber for the up-and-coming stars in NXT.
Yes,
anyway.
I had that in there as well. It seems like he's been a jobber lately.
Well, he's the jobber for the up-and-coming talent in NXT, at least. That's for sure. So, Roddy easily going to win that one.
Yeah, because he did go against Bobby Roode and Eric Young and now Strong. So
yeah.
Next match, speaking of Eric Young, he's going to go face-to-face with Ty Dillinger, the Perfect 10. And I think Eric Young wins because it's his first big, it's also his first big pay-per-view match with NXT since coming in. He's part of Sanity with Nikki Cross and Alexander Wolf. And there's one other guy, I can't remember his name at the moment, but I think they have both Strong and Young win, and then Dillinger, we'll get to him here in a little bit.
Dillinger's another guy who's kind of been a jobber to the big names in NXT, like Bobby Roode from the last takeover in Toronto, obviously.
But he's over with the fans.
Well, yeah, that's what keeps him afloat mostly. He doesn't need the wins because he's over anyway. Yeah. But yeah, Eric Young, first big pay-per-view match, having a faction behind him is only going to help in that fact as well. They'll probably get involved in some way, I'm sure. But yeah, definitely Eric Young in that one.
All right, and then the next match, women's championship match, Asuka, Nikki Cross, part of Sanity, Billie Kay, and Peyton Royce square off in a fatal four-way for the NXT Women's Championship. I think Asuka wins. I wouldn't be surprised if they have Nikki Cross win, and then Young will get his NXT title shot in the future coming up shortly, because I don't think Nakamura is going to be there much longer. But the women's division in NXT right now is awful. There's not really a whole lot of women, so I think if you have Asuka retain, you build up the other talent, and in the meantime, it's just going to build up to what it was before, but Asuka wins Saturday night.
Yeah, I think Asuka retains the title just because I feel like all of those women aren't really fit to be holding the title at this moment. Yeah. It is developmental, though, so, I don't think it really matters as so much who holds it, whether it be a big name or a different talent, but obviously keep it on Asuka, keep that women's division right where it is. Wait until some bigger name women come in, take it off of her possibly, but that's for right now. Just keep it on Asuka until she's ready to move on to the main roster pretty much.
Next is the NXT Tag Team Championship match, DIY. That's Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. They're going up against the Authors of Pain with Paul Ellering. I think the Authors of Pain, they won the NXT Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic back at NXT Takeover Toronto. I think they get their first title reign.
Definitely, likely, probably going to happen. I think because they haven't lost at all. The Authors of Pain have at all. With Paul Ellering at their side, he gets involved a lot. Typical heel stuff, of course. Their size, of course, is just like that's why they're so dominant. Of course, they're huge dudes. But of course, I'm going to choose my boys DIY there, Gargano and Ciampa.
All right. Next match is going to be glorious. It's going to have some vicious kicks in it, but Shinsuke Nakamura will retain his NXT championship over Bobby Roode. I don't think it's going to be a clear win for Nakamura. I think somebody's going to interfere somehow, because if you have Bobby Roode lose in his first big match in NXT, especially for a title, It's going to bury him, as I said, just with Eric Young and Ty Dillinger. These guys are going to be the new face of NXT within the next couple months. So Nakamura wins, retains his title, and we'll have to see what happens come Sunday.
I'm going Bobby Roode to win the NXT title. Shinsuke's time is up in NXT. He's going to be moving on really soon. I think this is just a foyer into that. He loses it, gets his chance, loses it again. On to the main roster for Shinsuke.
I went back and forth on this match. I picked Bobby Roode, picked Shinsuke. In the end, I went with Shinsuke. I think since this feud just started, I think they'll have it go on for a little bit, and I think Shinsuke is going to debut the night after WrestleMania. I think that'd be a big surprise to a lot of people down in Orlando there for the Raw after WrestleMania. So maybe even the SmackDown after WrestleMania, because they try to, they've tried to boost up SmackDown within the past 6 months. So yeah, that's the reason why I have Nakamura just retaining. But I went back and forth on this match.
Yeah, and that's NXT Takeover San Antonio.
San Antonio, yes.
All right.
It's all the matches.
Royal Rumble time now from the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. Mm-hmm. Then the next night on Sunday. I gotta say, just looking at the card, pretty weak card, honestly. Aside from the two main title matches, the WWE and Universal title, and then the Royal Rumble match itself, there's only 3 other matches on the main show, 2 kickoff show matches. This is supposed to be a 4-hour show, given the 7 o'clock start time. You can only assume it's going to be 4 hours, obviously. So I'm kind of wondering how this card's going to play out. They're going to have to give more time to some matches that maybe they wouldn't if they had more to go on. But this is as of today, Maybe a random match gets thrown in here within the next couple of days.
Maybe I don't really see that happening just because it's the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have to make those guys have 2 different matches in, because
they did it last year.
They did, but and they can do it if they want to. They do it for any other pay-per-view, but I don't think that's going to happen, because I think since they announced a couple on SmackDown last night and then two on Raw and 1 on SmackDown last night, I think the card's done.
Yeah. All right. Card's done. Kickoff show then. Sasha Banks, Nia Jax. Probably the worst match of all of them. Nia Jax wins. There you go.
You think Nia Jax is going to win? I think Sasha's going to win, and then she'll interfere later on in the night in another match, which we'll get to here in a second. Sasha, I actually went to a live event this past weekend. She was in a 6-woman tag team match with Bayley and Alicia Fox against Charlotte, Dana Brooke, and Nia Jax. Sasha didn't even wrestle. So there's something's wrong. Like, she's still hurt, or she might be playing kayfabe, and she might just be storyline purposes. But she actually did not even get into the match. She came out, but she didn't even wrestle. But excuse me, I think Sasha's going to win, and as I said, she'll interfere in a match later on.
Yeah. All right. And then the other kickoff show match is actually the tag title match.
Yeah.
And Cesaro and Sheamus defend the Raw Tag Team Championships against Gallows and Anderson. I gotta go Cesaro and Sheamus. They just won the titles not too long ago, obviously. Gallows and Anderson are really the only real heel tag team in the division, so that's why they always keep getting title opportunities. They deserve to win the titles, obviously. They do. I honestly think they should, but you're talking about putting them against a team that just won them. It doesn't make sense for them to win them right now. The problem with them is that there just isn't really any heel tag teams on Raw.
There's not, and
and so that they have to keep being put in these positions and losing all the time, because the other heel tag team on Raw is like the Shining Stars, and they're terrible.
Yeah. Now eventually,
not wrestling wise, but their gimmick is awful.
Yeah. Eventually, the New Day is going to turn, and I think they'll become heels again rather than baby faces as what they are at the moment. But you saw a couple weeks ago on Raw, Anderson and Gallows won by disqualification, though, which I was real surprised about. I didn't think that was going to happen. But I think it will happen this Sunday. I think they'll win the Raw Tag Team Championships.
All right. I can see that happening. It's a kickoff show match. Anything can happen on the show. Kickoff show is probably the wildest thing, because you never know. Faces normally win on the kickoff show, though, too. So normally. Yeah. But
Anderson and Gallows are not in the Royal Rumble match. Sheamus and Cesaro are. So what's that say? Yeah. So
I guess.
I think Gallows and Anderson win, and then eventually too, I think Sheamus and Cesaro, one of them is going to turn on each other, and I think they'll go 1-on-1 in a feud again, because they don't have any other talent on Raw at the moment that would be able to fill that time. So
that's why they made them a tag team. So
exactly, but
time in the tag team division.
You see tag teams get together, break up all the time, and get back together. So, what's it saying about them being in the Royal Rumble match and Anderson and Gallows aren't? Maybe because they're going to lose the titles, but we'll have to see.
Possibly. Match that was announced Tuesday there as 3 face women take on 3 heel women in SmackDown Live's division, that is, as Nikki Bella, Naomi, and Becky Lynch take on Alexa Bliss, Mickie James, and Natalya in a 6-woman tag match. Don't really care about it. It's not really for anything, but I'm going to go with the heels in this one. Mickie James' first pay-per-view match.
Yeah, I'm also going with that, and then eventually, we might see a fatal 4-way for that SmackDown Women's Championship come WrestleMania. Maybe even an Elimination Chamber. Maybe they have
they will.
Match like that then, but we'll have to see. But yeah, I'm going with the heels with Alexa Bliss, Mickie James, and Natalya.
Yeah, I gotta go with the heels on that one. But yeah, it's definitely because of Elimination Chamber. I'm assuming why they don't actually have a regular women's championship match on the show itself at Royal Rumble here, because Elimination Chamber being so soon afterward.
Yeah, it's only 2 weeks after.
And besides, they don't want to. Maybe they don't want 2 women's matches, title matches. That is.
Yeah, and same thing with the SmackDown Tag Team Championships.
Yeah.
There's not even a match for that.
Gable and Jordan weren't even on besides the Lumberjack match last night. Like, they didn't have any segment at all. Yeah. That's kind of weird. Not even seeing the champions at all during the show. But move on to the Cruiserweight title match now as Neville takes on Rich Swann. I gotta take Neville in this one.
I'm also gonna take Neville.
It only makes sense to me, him being called King of the Cruiserweights. He gets his crown title, but kind of like a crown in essence. But I think he should win it and just hold it for about forever.
Yeah, because currently 205 Live is not doing that well. Not a lot of people stick around to watch it. I really don't watch the Cruiserweight matches on Raw anyway.
Because they're tailored to try to preview 205 Live.
Exactly. Now, I watched the Cruiserweight Classic, but I think if they put the title on Neville, an experienced guy in WWE, a lot of people know who he is. A lot of people don't know who Rich Swann, T.J. Perkins, Lindsay Dorado. People know who Brian Kendrick is because he was on WWE before, but it's been a while. He wasn't even on Raw this past week. But I think if you put the title on Neville, I think a lot of people are going to start watching it more. But you got to have WWE has to have these guys do all their moves that they're used to doing. No, you can't do this, you can't do that. If they let them do their moves, if you watch Lucha Underground, perfect example for a lot of Lucha Cruiserweight type of guys. You watch that. If WWE allows people to do those type of moves, their ratings are going to skyrocket through the roof.
And I think they should make an exception for the Cruiserweights to be able to do more stuff, more dangerous type stuff, because part of being the Cruiserweight division, you got to do high risk, high flying maneuvers. That's only makes sense because it's a Cruiserweight division. Plus, they're kind of building the Cruiserweight division to be an entirely different entity from Raw and SmackDown anyway. So it would only make sense to have them do different stuff apart from the others. So it would definitely probably help a lot. The thing that doesn't help at all is that it's on Tuesday, 205 Live, right after SmackDown.
Yeah, on the WWE Network. A lot of people don't even have the WWE Network.
They're really filmed after SmackDown's over, so no one's in the crowd anyway because people don't want to stick around because they don't know these guys. First of all, they don't.
Yeah, it's not like a dark match. It's an actual show. Normally they have those before SmackDown starts. Yeah, and they tape it and then they put it on after, but it's actually live after.
Yeah, they need to either filming at a different day entirely independently of Raw and SmackDown, or do it earlier. Because being late, people that go to SmackDown, they don't want to stick around and watch. They came to see SmackDown, so they're leaving. So you got to treat.
And as you said, a lot of people don't know who those people are.
Yeah, they don't want to watch these people that they don't even know who they are. They just know they do flips.
And that's a perfect example to put the title on Neville, as we both said, because I think a lot of people know who Neville is over Perkins and Rich Swann, the other two that are been facing each other lately.
And that's one of my ways I would have to try to fix the Cruiserweight division, quote unquote fix it, is to put more established people in the division to kind of legitimize it. Put guys that people know, put superstar type potential guys.
Does that mean bring back Cruiserweights from before? Say like...
Not necessarily. I'm saying you can take a guy like that or a Cruiserweight weight, I would honestly put Finn Balor in the Cruiserweight division just to legitimize it. Someone like him someone with star power that can get that division skyrocketing. You know,
I mean, I think I can agree with that. He's the perfect size. I think WWE just had the UK tournament for the first United Kingdom champion. A lot of those guys are about the same weight as well. Maybe they bring in a couple of those guys for the cruiserweight, but no one knows who those guys are either.
Yeah,
is the thing. So
pretty much. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even watch the United Kingdom tournament because football is on, but it's on demand on the network. When I get a chance to watch it, I probably will because it's good wrestling. But we both have Neville.
Yeah, we both have Neville, and then the last match before we get into the main matches of the show, I should say the meat of the show, I guess the final 2 hours of the show, I have to say.
Yeah.
Bayley takes on Charlotte for the women's title. I'm going Charlotte in this one. Honestly, don't put the title on Bayley. Wait until WrestleMania.
Yep.
She'll win it there.
Yep.
Finally beat Charlotte's streak of pay-per-view matches at WrestleMania.
Yep.
Have the big moment in Orlando. It'll be just perfect.
Right in NXT's backyard. Bayley, face of NXT there for a while.
Yep.
She's over with the fans. A lot of people like her. And as I said a little bit ago, I think Sasha's going to interfere in one match, and I think it's going to be this match. And Charlotte's going to win by disqualification or Bayley might win by disqualification. More than likely, Bayley's going to win by disqualification, but Charlotte's still going to retain because she's a champion. And then that's going to set up a triple threat at WrestleMania between those three women.
All right. Now let's get to the main title matches. Now we'll start with the WWE title because I don't know why. That's just how I wrote it written down, I guess. But John Cena, AJ Styles, building this up pretty well, I have to say, over the weeks on SmackDown Live. No matches really, but just a lot of promos for the most part, I have to say, building this up. Good promos though, but I'm gonna have to go AJ Styles in this one. Maybe mostly because of the Elimination Chamber. I don't know what's gonna happen. Maybe Cena can win it at Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
Possibly. I had Cena winning it initially, get that 16. It would make more sense for him to win at Royal Rumble because it's a bigger event.
It
obviously.
would, but
it would be a bigger moment, obviously.
It would.
But you can wait until maybe Elimination Chamber, even WrestleMania would even be better considering it's record tying.
Yeah.
But I think gotta go AJ Styles in this one. I think one of these styles will change hands. It's not this one though.
Yeah, I think if they do have Cena win, he needs to lose it, say next week on SmackDown, then back to Styles. Or maybe somebody coming up from NXT, maybe a surprise return or something. But I think Styles is going to win Sunday. But I wouldn't be surprised if Cena wins. And I wouldn't be surprised if Cena wins it between the Royal Rumble, after the Royal Rumble, and before Elimination Chamber on SmackDown. And as I said, if he wins it, he needs to lose it again. And I agree with you. I think Styles is going to win. Cena's going to win his 16th championship at Elimination Chamber. It gets those buys up for the network. And then he needs to lose it right away if he loses it then, if that's what they decide to do. But Styles will win Sunday.
All right. And then the Universal Championship match, which has so many weird things going on. Owens versus Roman, again, rematch from Roadblock. But you got Chris Jericho going to be suspended in a shark cage above the ring.
In a shark cage.
And it's no disqualification.
Which makes no sense.
Which is dumb considering what you're doing with Chris Jericho. It's no disqualification, but what happens if Chris Jericho manages to interfere in the match?
Yeah, they'll probably lower the cage or something, or he'll escape out of it somehow. And
like what happens? It's no disqualification.
Something will happen.
Is the stipulation actually no disqualification unless it's Chris Jericho?
Yeah.
Because it's no disqualification. I think it's just there just to kind of make the match go longer, make it a little bit more exciting. I think for the most part, but Roman Reigns is going to win this match, main event WrestleMania for the third straight year. Mark my words, because fuck. That's all I really need to say about that. But he's going to win. I think this is just the perfect stipulation for it. Although I can see Owens winning thanks to Chris Jericho.
So
no disqualification, yada yada yada.
So do you agree with me going back to what I said before Roadblock, that they would have Owens and Jericho then for the U.S. title?
No.
No?
No.
What do you think they're going to do between those two then?
Between those two?
Yeah, between Owens and Jericho.
Well, depending if this is all dependent on if Roman wins, of course.
Yeah.
Who knows?
So I went back and forth on this more than I did for the NXT Championship.
But I'm going Roman initially. I think they're going to have Roman. He's going to take on the winner of the Royal Rumble match, which we're going to get to after Luke makes his prediction right now.
And I'm going to go with Kevin Owens. It's the Kevin Owens show. Well, I'm phenomenal too today, by the way. I picked Styles, and I'm picking Kevin Owens. I'm picking both champions. Yes, Kevin Owens will win. I want to be surprised if they do have Roman win. Whoever wins the Rumble match will face him then at WrestleMania. But the thing is, since the brands are split again, the winner of the Royal Rumble has his choice on if he wants to face the Raw champion, being the Universal champion, or if he wants to face the SmackDown champion,
well, they'll throw
the
the
WWE championship. Huh?
They'll throw the wrinkle in, like, if you're on Raw, you have to face the Universal Champion.
Probably. I mean, the main title in WWE is the WWE Championship, the one that AJ Styles holds.
Should be if you can choose, but they will throw in the wrinkle that, like, say, a Raw guy wins, they have to face the Universal Champion.
Yeah.
Which a Raw guy will win the Royal Rumble, no doubt about it, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. We'll get to that here in a second. But yeah, I think Owens is going to win. But I mean, going back to what I had said, and he said, I can't believe you actually think that. If you go back and listen to the Roadblock preview, I had said they'd have Owens and Jericho for the U.S. title for WrestleMania. Well, they can still do that if they have Roman win, but it just depends on what happens on Sunday. Because if they have Owens retain, there's no chance. Because what do you do with Jericho then? Jericho gets left in the dust if Owens wins. But I think they'll have Owens win for now.
All right, you have Owens winning right now. And just as an aside, my discrepancy with you on Roadblock was how you were going about it, how you were saying that was going to go down, in the order it was going to go down in.
Well,
not just that ending, but like just how you had it going down. You had Owens winning the United States Championship at Roadblock, which wasn't even on the line, giving it to Jericho.
Yeah, but Jericho ended up getting it because they had a U.S. title shot. In the end, it worked out because it depended on what they were going to do at Roadblock, you know. I mean, that's my opinion. That's what I think. Because they had the opportunity to do it, they didn't. But you know, Jericho did get the title from Reigns. Owens didn't. So one of the two of Jericho did. But long story short, Kevin Owens is still a Universal Champion. Chris Jericho is the United States Champion. There's not even a United States Championship match at the Royal Rumble because Jericho's in the Rumble match. And you think Roman Reigns is going to win the Universal title? I think Kevin Owens is going to win.
Yeah.
So that's that.
Now let's get to the big one now, the Royal Rumble match. I have to say, a more unpredictable Royal Rumble match this year.
Yeah,
normally, it's really easy to pick who you think might win.
I
personally have 3 different names that I've written down.
Okay.
Who I think is going to win this match. One I think is more logical than the other two. One's a long shot for sure, and one of them I could definitely see happening, of course. But yeah, more unpredictable I think this year because there's so many star power.
You want to hold this?
No. So going back to how I said this card's kind of like weak looking, it's because they put in all their time and effort into this match for sure.
Oh, they have.
The booking. They have the star power.
They've been promoting it since Survivor Series.
Yeah, they have all the star power in it. Some names you can easily eliminate are Lesnar and Goldberg. They're going to face each other at WrestleMania or even earlier. Who knows?
More than likely, it could be earlier.
They're not going to win it, I don't think. Just those two alone. But let's get into it now. I'll throw out my first name. This is the one that I feel like might happen. Possibly. I don't know, though. Braun Strowman. And he's going to face Roman at WrestleMania.
There's a good chance of that. I could see that
I think he's
happening.
I think he's winning by breaking the elimination record set by Roman Reigns also, which is definitely possible in itself because that's how they build him up. He's this monster of a man. He'll eliminate everyone, but he could obviously be eliminated by someone like Sami Zayn, who got into the Rumble match on Monday now. Continue their storyline. Sami maybe gets the final payoff, but I know Strowman's name that's been floating around from time to time now about who's going to win the Rumble. I'm going to go with him initially. I have a few more names. I want to hear who you got initially right now as well, though.
Well, I don't have 3 different guys. I have one pick, but I mean I could go through the list here of 2 other people that I think could win it. one being Baron Corbin for SmackDown. He won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal last year for the third annual Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I could see him winning it. Ambrose and Miz, neither one of those are guys who are going to win it. They're going to face each other at WrestleMania more than likely, with Maurice and Renee Young at ringside. Ziggler, not a chance. I think a possible entry into the Rumble match is going to be a commentator, being Jerry the King Lawler. You saw on SmackDown a couple weeks ago. They brought back their storyline from a number of years ago. I think he'll enter the match and he'll eliminate Ziggler. You could possibly have The Undertaker win it and have him go on a main event WrestleMania, get a title shot against whoever. As I said, going back to that champion, that the winner of the Rumble gets to choose then. He would have his choice at either Kevin Owens or Roman Reigns or AJ Styles or John Cena.
Because he doesn't have a brand technically.
Exactly. So there's a chance that they do that. They could have Chris Jericho win it, because that's the thing. What are you going to do with him if you have Owens retain the Universal Championship? If they have Strowman win it, you could put Sami Zayn against Chris Jericho for the U.S. title then. I could see that happening. The New Day, none of them are going to win that.
Can you please just tell me who you think's going to win? That's what I asked.
Well, they could bring up Samoa Joe and he could win it. But the person who I think that's going to win it is none other than Finn Balor. He's going to return. He's been out with injury since after SummerSlam, the night after SummerSlam, with a rotator cuff injury. 6 to 9 months is the timetable that he's supposed to be out. So it's been about 5. But it's a long shot. That's why I went back and forth with the NXT Championship match. If they would have Shinsuke retain or if they'd have Bobby Roode win it. If Bobby Roode wins, Shinsuke is coming up and Balor is not returning. And then I think they'll have Shinsuke win the Rumble, and then he'll face Styles at WrestleMania. But as I said, I think Nakamura is going to retain. They're going to keep the Bobby Roode thing going for a little bit longer. Nakamura then debuts the night after WrestleMania. You have Owens and Balor at WrestleMania for the Universal title, because Balor, he never lost that championship. And then Seth Rollins, he's not even in the Rumble match anymore, since he lost to Sami Zayn on Monday night. Come Sunday, I think there's going to be some sort of segment. You brought up a good idea that they could do. I could see them doing it. Now that I think about it, I don't really think it's going to happen though. But I think Rollins is just going to come out, then Triple H, they're going to talk, and then it's going to set up a match at WrestleMania. And then Hunter is going to put Paul, whatever the hell you want to call him, is going to put over Rollins. Rollins in that title picture again. You have Nakamura debuting. You have the winner and the loser of the Universal title at WrestleMania. You got a fatal 4-way for either Payback or Extreme Rules right after WrestleMania then. So I think Finn Balor returns and wins the Royal Rumble match. I wouldn't be surprised if they do have Lesnar or Goldberg win it though too. I think Lesnar's going to enter first. Goldberg's music is going to hit second. Gilbert's going to come out, and then Goldberg's going to come out and eliminate him. And then you got your one-on-one there with Lesnar and Goldberg again then for the Rumble until things start to heat up with other guys coming in. So yeah, that's my prediction. Going back to Strowman, I think they'll have him and Lesnar at WrestleMania. What else do I have here? Joe, I think he'll come up. Because I said they could have him win it, for all we know. But then I think he goes to SmackDown and he will be in the title picture with Cena and Styles, and Cena will put him over.
All right.
Because Cena's going to be leaving there for a little bit again, probably, and then Joe will take his spot. And then you got Styles and Samoa Joe.
All right, and then my other 2 names, one of them wasn't The Undertaker, in fact. One, because of that interesting story that they could play off. If he doesn't have a brand, he can choose whoever he wants, and then you have that anticipation week after week. Who's he going to face at WrestleMania? Yeah. Who's he going to go after for one last title run? The problem I have with this is that, obviously it'd be a big draw, obviously, but I feel like he doesn't need to have a title on the line for Undertaker to have a big draw. Give it to someone else, get some more money out of it. And that's the big problem I have with Strowman, possibly. How much is Strowman going to draw? They might not go with him because he might not draw enough money, especially if you're going to put him against Roman, first of all. First and foremost, I should say. I don't think that'll draw too much. Strowman's a riskier pick, I would say. And then finally, Finn Balor, as you mentioned. He's the long shot in this equation, I think. He's definitely a possibility to possibly come back, win it. It's definitely a long shot, though. He's kind of a hopeful pick almost. Chris Jericho, again, I can definitely see that happening. A good storyline, having the best friends come to a head at WrestleMania for the Universal Championship. He would have to probably lose the United States Championship along the way, though. That's the problem.
Yeah, probably to Roman, and then Roman would face
or someone else, you know.
Or somebody else, yeah.
Yeah, but as for call-ups and stuff, I'm not really worried about that too much. Definitely maybe some NXT guy here or there. Yeah, maybe no one too serious. Maybe someone from the NXT comes in but isn't like a super serious competitor. Like, as in like a Nakamura or a Joe or something, not like a big name.
Well, I had Joe because you haven't seen him on NXT in a couple weeks. Ty Dillinger, I think he'll enter at 10 because he's a perfect 10. He's over with the fans. I said Gilbert. That'd be funny. And then you can't forget about James Ellsworth. He's on SmackDown, one of the most over guys in WWE at the moment as well. I think you throw him in the match. Mark Henry, they're in Texas. Everything's bigger in Texas. I think he'll enter.
Big guys in the Rumble.
Yeah, I think he'll enter. I went back and forth with Shaq coming in and entering, but the match with Big Show, it's already been set in stone since last year, so I threw that out the window. And then I replaced that with Curtis Axel because it's Axelmania season. And who knows if Hulk is going to show up? He might. And who knows, hell, if they have him win it, I think everybody's going to go nuts. But I don't think it's going to happen. But Axelmania is going to come back into full swing. And then maybe they do it like they did a couple years ago, going back to WrestleMania 31, to lead up to WrestleMania 31. Hulk does return then eventually before WrestleMania like he did. So Axelmania, I think, will be in it. And then you got everybody else. You got all the 22 other people, from SmackDown and Raw, plus The Undertaker. Since he's on a brand, he's been showing up to Raw and SmackDown lately. Came out of nowhere on Monday night. I was totally shocked about that. I didn't think they'd have him come out there at the end with the last segment with Goldberg and Lesnar, but they did. And fans went nuts, and it pretty much made Raw really good this past week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. But nevertheless, that is what we think is going to happen at WWE Royal Rumble and NXT Takeover to San Antonio as well. So let us know what you think is going to happen this weekend in both of those events. Who do you think is going to win the Royal Rumble match? Let us know in the comments below. And as for that, we'll see you next time when we do wrestling, which will be next week, when we review this very show and the NXT show as well, what we thought about it, our grades for that, at least me. I'm not sure about Luke, but nevertheless, we will see you then. And until then,
Yeah, just, go watch our other video that we did earlier today, too, with hockey and football. Question of the day for that was, who's going to win tonight's hockey game between the Oilers and the Ducks? Question of the week, who's going to be the new number one team in college basketball come Monday afternoon? Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram, email us at crossfieldline2016@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter as well, CoolAndLuke96 and CMH14. Subscribe on YouTube. Share this video. Show it to your friends and family. Do whatever the hell you got to do to get this video out to people. And with that, we'll see you next week because that's all we have today for our hockey and football that we did earlier, and now for wrestling. So we'll see you next week.